Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody, welcome our media partners to the Conroe Police Department. Thank you for coming to discuss Operation Heatwave. I'd like to thank the collaboration of our law enforcement partners that have attended. Operation Heatwave was conducted August 4th through August 8th, and it was conducted to bring fugitives to justice that are outstanding from the Conroe, Montgomery-County area. So we formed a joint task force, and it was a very successful operation. And we want to go over the facts and the statistics of it, and at the end we'll open it up to any questions. At this time I'd like to introduce Chief John Buckholz, Chief of the Conroe Police Department.
Thank you all very much. It's a pleasure to be here and see so many people behind me that have stood behind this department and the community. Operation Heatwave, the reason that we started this originally was when I came here, it was quite obvious that we had a lot of outstanding warrants. Our clearance rate was not where we would like it to be for our citizens. And my first inclination was to reach out and find community partners. So a very close friend of mine is a new sheriff, Wesley Doolittle of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. And we have a task force officer relationship with the U.S. Marshal's office. So the U.S. Marshal of the Southern District of Texas, Mr. T. O'Connor, he reached out to us and he said that we could assist us with this operation. One of the big things for us to do here was to come up to a plan of operation to what warrants we wanted to actually serve. So Mr. T. Michael O'Connor came with his crew, and he says that we would not know something we normally do, but in this instance we would. And one of the biggest things to me that when I came here was the saying that justice delayed is justice denied. It's very simple to configure in the fact that every victim is important. Each victim individually has an expectation that their crime was the most important thing that we have dealt with. It's not about the numbers, although we started out with 149 warrants that we were seeking. The number of warrants that we were interested in was just one. We were interested in that one victim. That one victim that expected to be able to go out in the community and not be stalked or not look over their shoulder or not have further concern. And another big, concern of ours, obviously, is that this criminal that's been unadjudicated, they are not on any court list. They have never been arraigned. They're not on any court docket. They're just out there continuing their criminal episodes. So, the concern for us as a community is we deserve better than that. We're expected to do better than that. So this operation was kicked off with a group, and I'd like to read a large group of numbers here, but the U.S. Marshals, primarily Operation Heatwave, Conroe police officers, Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies, the U.S. Gulf Coast Violent Offenders and Fugitive Task Force, the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Department of Criminal Justice Office of Inspector General, Texas Office of the Attorney General, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Houston Police Department, Fort Bend County Precinct 4 Constable's Office, Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office, Richmond Police Department, Harris County Constables Precincts 1 and 5, Pasadena Police Department, Austin County Sheriff's Department, and the Homeland Security Task Force Fugitive Investigative Strike Team. So all of these agencies see the value in this. None of us want this continued operation of these illegal criminals in our community. So we reached out, had an operation that was well planned and well rehearsed. We had a total of 71 people apprehended. 91 of the 149 original warrants that we started out with were cleared in 1 week, which is phenomenal. Again, like I told you, I would have been happy with just one. Just one victim getting justice would have been satisfying. I would like to introduce my friend Wesley Doolittle, who's going to talk a little bit about our relationship. Since Sheriff Doolittle has come into office, we have been very focused on interagency collaboration, and I think he's going to speak more to that. Sheriff.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Thank y'all for today. You know, I spent 22 years with the Texas Department of Public Safety, and my last 13 with them as a Texas Ranger. I learned early on that your partnerships and the relationships that you have with other agencies are the true value in law enforcement. Our ability to work together with a U.S. Marshal Service here with the Conroe Police Department and all agencies in Montgomery and in Harris County, more importantly, I'll tell you that criminals move between Montgomery and Harris County seamlessly. They commit crimes and they victimize the people who live here in Montgomery County and those that live in Harris County. Our partnerships are very important to seeking justice for those that are victimized. I worked with Sheriff O'Connor probably 15 years ago when I was a ranger in Victoria when he was still a sheriff. I understand the value of partnerships. I understand the value of relationships and how important they are to victims and justice. Whether it's working with our district attorney, getting cases prosecuted, working with the Conroe Police Department, working with our constables, working with our other county agencies to ensure that we seek out those that would seek to do harm in our communities and not just work the cases, but we see them through. That if they abscond, we hunt them down wherever they're at, and we bring them back to these judges and these attorneys to prosecute them. So for that reason, I will continue to partner with every agency, with our district attorney's office and our judges, to make sure people are held accountable. I'm super proud of the relationship we have with Conroe and Chief Buckholz, Marshal O'Connor, also with our district attorney, Brett Ligon, and then those folks in our community that work together. I've said this since I got into office, that we're better together, and we'll continue to do that. So thank you, Chief.
As the sheriff mentioned, a very prominent champion of justice in this community is our district attorney, Brett Ligon, who I had the pleasure of working for 6.5 years. And Brett will go to no end to serve justice with this community. Some of the more remarkable cases in this warrant roundup is, I believe we reached out as far as Georgia, other states. People had left this community, thought that they were going to walk away from these crimes against children. These are not just your everyday crimes. These are crimes that were perpetuated against people individually. It's not something that we could normally stand up and prevent. Our first job is to prevent crime. Our second job is to hold those accountable. But a person-on-person crime, like most of these particular charges, it's not something we can necessarily prevent, but we can certainly get them some justice. And Mr. Brett Ligon, our DA of this county, is renowned for that. So I'd like to introduce Brett Ligon. He's going to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate the opportunity to lift up all the agencies. Border control in Montgomery County has always started at south part of the county. It's because what the sheriff has already indicated and what our U.S. Marshal knows is the borders for criminals are seamless. There's a reason why you're seeing Conroe Police Department, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, and our partners in the federal agencies. And I'm not going to miss all the SWAT teams with Montgomery County, the SWAT teams with Conroe PD, and most importantly, a new Lieutenant Burse, right? This Texas Department of Public Safety. The jurisdiction that we have is overlapping because our willpower is not relenting. And so not only do we have the willpower in Montgomery County, but we have the resources as well. Montgomery County has been said to be the Alamo of the state of Texas, and there's a reason. Because we're fighting to defend what is so important to the community in Montgomery County, which is the victims and the people of Montgomery County. And so as the chief mentioned, not only do I have the willpower, but I have the resources. If you flee Montgomery County and you have committed a crime in Montgomery County, it doesn't matter to me where you go. The U.S. Marshals Violent Offender Task Force is going to go pick them up. Conroe Police Department, Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, the sheriff has the willpower to make room in the jail for me to extradite people from out of state. So it doesn't matter to me. If you flee Texas, you'll be brought back to Texas. You'll be brought back to Montgomery County. And so when I say I have the willpower at the district attorney's office, and we point to the resources in the state of Texas and our partners at the local, city, state, and federal level, hey, we mean what we say. Justice delayed in Montgomery County is justice denied, and it's time for justice to be served. Thank you.
My last remarks is obviously we can plan these things, we can set up here and we can organize them, but the true heroes of this operation are standing behind us. Every officer, we had 24 that Marshal Michael O'Connor special deputized 24 in our agency, and I believe 23 or 24 in Montgomery County SO. So we challenge these men and women to go out and find these people, and they work tirelessly. So the real heroes are standing behind us. We're the ones standing up here talking about it. This is a very first step in our community. We have recently enacted a unit in our department, and the sheriff has the same, called our crime reduction unit, that we are focused on continuing this. We've had great success with that already in this first week, and we will continue to search out for these particular absconders and hold them accountable and let these victims have their day in court. With that, I'd like to close, and we would agree to take questions if y'all have questions.
Yeah, Chief, can you give us a sense of when you started in this position? What was the warrant situation like? More specifically, like maybe some data that you may have, and what is it now?
I don't have the data of the total warrants. I can tell you that the total that we focused on, which were the felony, more serious interpersonal warrants, not misdemeanor. We kind of culled out some of them. There's a lot more. So we've got a lot of work to do, admittedly. But I started here February 10th. Prior to coming, I did, my due diligence and research, and it just wasn't a number that I was willing to accept. So we are taking a very proactive approach to it from here forward. This is obviously proof of that. And honestly, I already thank the Marshal Service and the other agencies that stepped up for us, but we could have never done this alone. Together, we are so much more powerful than we are alone, like the sheriff said.
On the 91 warrants that were cleared, can you give us a sense of kind of the breakdown of the more violent offenses versus parole warrants?
I can give you a few. I don't have them all here, but I can tell you that unlawful possession of a firearm by felon, there was 5. Assault, family violence, which would have been a felony, there was 8. Ag assault was 5. Aggravated sexual assault of a child. Possession of child pornography, there was 10 different cases of that. All serious warrants. They go all the way down. Like I said earlier, there's 3 stalking cases. Those victims, what does that mean to them to have this person, in Brett Ligon's hands now, and not have to look over their shoulder anymore? That's what we're here for. That's what we serve for. Everybody behind me, we're all servants in this community. But every one of these is serious crimes. There's not one of them that I can really. The child crimes, obviously, we focus on, but every victim is important, one at a time. Any other questions?
Are you planning on doing some other operations?
We're gonna continue this until we can't. I'll put it that way. We are not stopping with one operation. It may not be as big as this. We wouldn't have been able to do this without the honestly the funds and the cooperation and the planning from the Marshal Service. But they're out there doing this every day. They're out here looking for these people every day. We just gave them a very focused list of 150 people that we needed attention to. And 149 warrants, and we cleared 91. That's pretty far up there in 1 week. So it's a good start.
Chief, what is some of the feedback you heard from residents in Conroe area and so on? Prior, were they frustrated? And now, how do you feel about it? Have you heard from anybody some of the heinous crimes?
I haven't heard about it, to be honest with you. I know that they have an expectation that we're out here doing this stuff every day, and we are, to be fair. This is not something that we're not focused on every day. It's just this is a more proactive and focused investigation towards these. Without looking at these individually and just, your random traffic stop or, coming across somebody, we now put this unit, this crime reduction unit, we put it inside our criminal investigations division. When these detectives, they work their case up and they come to a resolution, a judge agrees with the warrant, signs it, it gets filed. They're handing that fresh warrant now. We're not wasting any time. They're going and we have a very focused operation and a unit that I'm hoping that we can continue to grow. And maybe one day we won't need it. Maybe we won't have this kind of numbers, but.
So what was the process before? If that warrant was coming in, was it just going to a file and sitting somewhere?
I believe that it was a mix of things. To be honest with you, if it was a warrant that someone knew had fresh information, I think it was handed to a patrol officer. I think it might have been a little more hit or miss than what we're allow that to become going forward. I don't know all the details because I wasn't here for 6.5 years, but I will tell you that there's nothing but professional law enforcement leaders in this building and all these agencies behind me. And none of us are sitting idly, not looking for these things. It's the sheriff, it's the DA. It's my job to go out and be more focused on the actual search and not letting any of these slip by. I mean, again, if this is a warrant against you or your family, it's the most important thing in your life until it's solved, until you get justice. And we can't say it enough, but justice delayed is justice denied. It does not. An expectation of any citizen, and we're not going to allow it.
And so now, just to be clear, when that warrant comes in, it goes to the CRU and it's addressed more quickly, hopefully? Is that?
We're working on a process whereas when the warrant is actually filed at the district clerk's office, that it would be filed directly with our unit, and then they would have it in their hand. So it's of course entered into the computer system, NCIC, TCIC, but if anybody else, any law enforcement officer comes across this person, it would show the warrant, but we are going to be looking for that person diligently.
During the week of this operation, there was a man in Willis who was handcuffed, maybe detained for some time, and then released by marshal because he was not a suspect that was being looked for. Did anybody care to address that?
I don't know about that one.
Well, first of all, I want to say, have you heard the saying, justice is coming? Have we all heard that? Well, you can quote, justice has arrived. As far as the incident in Willis County, it's being under investigation. There's a little bit more to that story, but at this time we're not at liberty to go into detail. Until which that time comes, we'll make sure that it's well known. But there's more to that story than's been claimed.
The man who was handcuffed was not a suspect.
Again, there's more. Sometimes you hold someone in place as detaining them, but I'd prefer not to go into any discussions with it until we've gone through the full investigation, and then such point, it'll be available to the general public. Thank you.
Did any of the arrests happen outside the state of Texas? Or?
They did. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware of at least one or more that was in Georgia, but wherever they were at, these U.S. Marshals have some long arms. They can go get them. We can too, but they can make a phone call and they've got people. So, absolutely, they're leaving this community was at the end of their accountability.
This might be a question for the sheriff, just talking about the jail. Of those 71, do you know how many got an ICE hold?
No, I have not pulled the numbers on it. We've done about 1,000 inquiries this year, so we have people that run the 287G program in our jail, and it's something that just happens every day as a operational business.
Any other questions? I'd like to mention that I hope I get this name right because I messed up names, but K9 Rocky, one of our U.S. Marshals dogs that was actually shot in an apprehension back in January, I believe, was back in service and actually functioning on this operation. So I think y'all may be aware of K9 Rocky. So we were very happy to have him on board too. Any other questions? Well, thank y'all for coming. I really appreciate the partnership and you getting the word out to this community that they can feel, good about the fact that, we are being responsive to their needs. Our job, I say this all the time, is to let good people sleep well at night and to let the bad people choose another place or another way of doing their life. But if the good people sleep well at night, it's all worth it. That's what we're here for. A lot of us have been doing this for a long time. Thank y'all very much.